Austrian Chancellor Sebastian Kurz said he would support a British move to extend the EU's Article 50 exit clause, but only to prevent a hard Brexit. Michel Barnier, the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, insisted EU leaders would demand that Mrs. May reveal her exact plans before agreeing to any delay. The French eurocrat said the length of extension would depend on the Prime Minister's strategy. Mrs. May has told MPs on Tuesday that she would give the House of Commons the option to pursue no deal or to delay Brexit if they refuse to support her deal. Mr. Barnier, during some negotiating downtime, met Mr. Kurz in Vienna as part of his Brexit tour of the continent. Speaking to reporters after their discussions, Mr. Barnier indicated his work is almost complete as British and EU lawyers work on legally binding assurances. To the Irish backstop, we have finished our work, he said, holding a copy of the 585-page draft EU withdrawal agreement. Aloft. Brexit news. Michel Barnier and Sebastian Kurz list demands for Theresa May's Brexit delay. Image SG, responding to suggestions from Mrs. May that she could delay Brexit if MPs refuse to support her deal. Mr. Barnier added, if it is asked, European leaders will say what for, and the duration of this potential extension will be linked to what for. Mr. Kurz said he would support the Prime Minister's request but insisted she would have to soften her negotiating approach to avoid a hard Brexit. The Austrian leader said, there is still no majority in Britain for the deal negotiated by May and the EU, and the hope is of course that at the next vote there will be a majority for this deal and a regulated Brexit can take place, but I will also add that if more time is needed, if it's not possible to make this regulated Brexit happen till the end of March, we will support an extension. Of course this extension can only take place if Theresa May wants it and puts forward a motion. If this extension should take place, it is also necessary to ask the question, what is the goal for the time frame? What good does this extension do? Does it ensure that we will be able to finish all the work? But if this is the way out to prevent a hard Brexit, then we will support this path, he added. If more time is needed, I believe there will be the willingness to extend. Yesterday, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel issued similar warnings during a joint press conference in Paris. Mr. Macron said, we would support an extension only if it was justified by a new choice of the British. We would in no way accept an extension without a clear objective. Yet Mrs. Merkel insisted, if Great Britain needs more time, we will not oppose it. The PM has already warned an extension on its own is likely to solve nothing. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez also warned, the position of Spain, as I have conveyed to Prime Minister Theresa May in different telephone conversations, is the same. It is not possible to temporarily limit the backstop or to allow a unilateral exit from it, due to its nature as a security mechanism. It is not possible to set a term for it. It is not only a matter of solidarity with one of our partners, Ireland, but also of preserving the peace that was achieved in Northern Ireland decades ago. It cannot be ruled out that the British PM requests an extension of Article 50 of the EU treaty, as she said yesterday. And I want to make clear, before this possible position of the British government, that although Spain is not going to oppose the concession of an eventual extension, it must have a certain perspective of resolution. Prolonging uncertainty by postponing deadlines is not a reasonable nor desirable alternative.